Yo, what's up, people? I am your host, Jay Will, and I would like to welcome you to Inspire God's People, where we balance faith and business to guide you to your purpose. Welcome to the show, people. This is episode 208. That's right, 208 or 208 for my professional people out there, my suburbanites, middle class, 208. For everybody else, 208. The Pando Tree effect. So we got a good episode today. First of all, we're going to talk about the power of sowing seeds. You know what I mean? And why we got to think through what that even means. A lot of times, if you come from coach, I can talk, people. Here we go already needing that. If you come from church culture, then a lot of times we think about sowing seeds as money, but we're going to get far deeper and far more practical at the same time than talking about money. We got to expand beyond money, especially when we're thinking about church, or at least talk about the proper way to think about money, which is why I do spend a lot of time talking about finances. We are going to also, on that note, going to talk about why charity keeps you poor. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know charity is an amazing thing. I support charity. I've been a beneficiary of charity. It's had a positive impact on my life in many ways. I've also tried to give back in many ways, but I also see this gray area in charity where charity can actually keep you poor and help, cause you to remain in that cycle. And then lastly, we're going to talk about, why changing somebody's mind is the hardest thing you can actually do in life. And we're going to do all that while talking about the Pando Tree. But first, I'm going to give you a little bit of this intro.
Stop saying what you gonna do till you do what you said. When you opened that Bible, you knew what you read. You felt it deep in your soul. The promise did not expire. Be inspired. I can see beyond the tears you cry and the pain you feel. I saw every hill you had to climb just to make it here. When you say you ain't afraid to die, is it faith or fear?
All right, people, let's get into this. Episode 208, the Pando Tree effect. So this all started from a thought. Or before I do that, let me at least give you to the focal scripture of today that's going to kind of anchor today's episode is Proverbs 4:7. And it says that wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get an understanding. Let's just be real. A lot of us are walking through life and we got all the information in the world. We got, we see all the memes. We got all the internet websites or whatever to get information. We don't understand what we're looking at. Can we just be real? Like, sometimes you don't understand what's going on. Sometimes you've been going to church your whole life and you don't know what that scripture is talking about. Let's just be real. But today we're going to break some things down. I enjoy breaking things down, simplifying complex things, and we're going to get a little bit of an understanding about some things in life. So let's jump right into it. The power of sowing seeds. So this whole thought for today's episode really came from this thought that I had about how complex the world is, but everybody got this desire to simplify stuff. You feel what I'm saying? You got Bloods, you got Crips, you got Democrats, you got Republican, you got black, you got white. In this whole idea of man, things are way deeper than people make them seem. And so I get a lot of DMs, a lot of, messages and things. And people come to me and they ask me very complex questions, right? Which is cool, no problem. But one of the things I realize with people is they want really quick, surface level answers to deep stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you walk up to somebody and say, explain calculus to me in 30 seconds, it's going to be like, well, X minus Y time. Well, that's algebra. See what I'm saying? I ain't even on the right subject because that's how deep calculus is. I remember in college, I took a accelerated calculus course where they basically crunched it into an 8-week program over the summer. Yeah, I think I got a C. I passed, but I wasn't understanding everything that was happening because everything was condensed. And in order to understand things at an accelerated level, you got to be accelerated in your processing. And let's just be real. Just like I wasn't that accelerated in calculus, a lot of us ain't that accelerated in the things of life going on around us. So I'm going to give you an example. Somebody, asks you, how to start a business or how to make money or What should I do with $10,000? These on the surface seem very simple. And then what I realize about people is the moment you start trying to actually explain to them what they should do, the answer is too complex and it's too deep for people. So what happens is we live in a world, this is where memes come into play, where we would rather try to get as much information as we can from a meme or a 30-second reel or something like just real high level. And that's cool if you have the foundational understanding. But if I'm being real, like you can't really start your understanding at a meme, bro. Like, and so it's like, yo, you can watch a 10-minute YouTube video of what to do with $10,000, but the reality is deeper than that. So what am I saying? I was thinking about the power of planting seeds and how every little thing we do, it grows into something else. So like if somebody there are times like people come to me again, like, maybe they asking about, let's keep it about money because money is just understandable. If somebody like, oh no, let's not do money. Let me go deeper than money. Let's go credit score, right? Somebody hits you up and they like, yo, how do I get a 750 credit score? Right. And let's say today they're at a 530, like I was 10 years ago. I think I was a 535 exactly. And so if we being real, what we want to do is you just want a quick answer. Like, bro, I don't want to listen to an hour podcast of you telling me what I got to break down and then I got to leave there and do more work. I want you to tell me what to do. But here's the reality of it, y'all. In order to get a 700, 750, 800 credit score, anyone who has that, especially if they started at a low level, there was some seeds they had to plant. Right? I paid the first bill, then I saved up, then I called the next people and I had a settlement for that one. And then over 6 months, I paid off that bill. And then I went like, so the real answer is about these multiple seeds that I planted, right? And then you plant these multiple seeds and then you get this outcome. And what happens is people just see the outcome. People literally just see the forest. They never think about what it took to plant the trees, what it took to nourish the trees, where the trees had to be planted for the best growth, the water that had to flow through there. They don't look at the river, like they don't look at the climate and is it sunny? People don't look at none of that. They just see the trees and they like, bro, I want a forest. Tell me how to get a forest. So the first thing I want to tell you today is like, it is important to go through your process, to plant your seeds. And we're going to dig into this, but every action that you take is a seed. Everything that you do. I'm going to give you an example. If you wake up today and you put all your time and your effort into something like, I'm going to binge watch this Netflix series. You know what I'm saying? No shade or whatever. I know a lot of people binge watch Netflix series. Cool. That's you. That's your seeds. That's going to produce something. Now, maybe it's a good thing. So maybe that it equates for the rest because you had a long week of work and that's going to produce recharging and resetting. Or maybe you lazy and you ain't even did nothing all week but binge watch. And it's just laziness is going to produce more laziness. You're going to plant seeds of laziness and then you're going to get trees of laziness that are going to bear fruit of laziness. And you're going to look around and like your whole life is going to be a reflection of the seeds you planted. And so the real thing with a lot of us is that we want certain results that are not based on the seeds we planted. It's like, bro, like, when people look at you, if you have something, this is why I try not to look at people and covet what they have or make it seem like, oh, it's just easy because it's like, I don't know the work that went behind the planting of that seed or the discipline. It take a lot of discipline for a person to maybe plant when you're just trying to harvest. Like a lot of us, all right, oh, that's a good spot to kick it real quick. A lot of people, and what up, Tanya? How you doing, sister? A lot of people, they want to eat fruit when it's time to water a seed. And so I'm gonna give you an example. Like everybody like nice cars, everybody like houses, things like that, right? So a person, if you take, and again, I've done episodes on cars and when you should buy a car, why you shouldn't buy a car at a particular time. And I use examples like these because they're super relatable, right? So when you think about a car, everybody has cars they like. Most people. I have cars I like. And the thing is, most people want the car, but they don't want to do what it takes to be able to properly afford the car. So let's just take something like a Porsche, right? Porsche, was it Panamera? I mean, that's about $100,000 car on a good day, a good, somewhere between 80 and 110 probably. So let's just take $100,000 car. Most people focus so much on the car that the car becomes their whole like basically the car is the fruit. So but you at the seed level, bro. Like you don't have good credit yet. You don't have money saved up yet. You don't have assets. You don't have any net worth, anything, any passive income. You have nothing but just I go to work on this day, I get my check on Friday. Go to work on this day, get my check on Friday. Go to work on this, go to we in the same little loop. We stuck in a loop of go to work, get a check, spend a check, get the thing I like. Go to work, get a check, spend a check, thing I like. Go to work. And it's this cycle that a lot of us are caught in that we can't get out of because we don't know how to step back and say, yo, I'm in seed planting season right now. So yes, I like the Porsche Panamera, but the Panamera doesn't define me. I'm dope in the Accord. And I'm going to be real with y'all. I'm just going to keep it extra crispy. Like some people problem is you dependent on a thing to make you fly. Like, bro, grow some wings. Like, I'm just being real. Like, this could come off the wrong way and I apologize, but I'm just telling you how my mind thinks. And hopefully you can build something, take something productive out of this and this don't come off wrong. But like, I'll just say it this way. I'll tone it down. Generally speaking, I'm a confident person. I'm going to just keep it 100 with you. I don't need things to make, like, I would rather just be dope because God made me dope. If the car got to make me dope, I know that in my heart. If the shoes got to make me dope. Listen, I was dope when I was broke because I had hope. And yes, I'm dropping bars. Like, so listen, I'm dropping bars in a regular conversation right now. I was dope when I was broke. Not in an arrogant way. I'm just saying that some of us are dependent on the thing to validate us. I was about to say validify. Validify? Hold on, get the cup. I can talk. Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube later. And if you're not on my YouTube channel, please do subscribe to @InspireGuysPeople on YouTube. Like, subscribe, all that. We're up to about 781 subscribers as of earlier today and growing. And YouTube is where you go for the daily inspiration as well as the long form inspiration, like the full podcast. But we do a lot of chopping up and remixing and shorts and things like that on YouTube. So if you need that daily, short burst of inspiration every day, YouTube is where you go. All right, so a lot of us, we're stuck in this loop because we need things to validate us, right? You need a car to validate you. So what you're doing is you're buying the car, which is supposed to just be the result or the fruit. You're buying the car when you should be planting a seed. So if I go out and I plant and I go buy $100,000 car just because I had $100,000 or could get $100,000 loan, got approved. Like, that's another thing we do. We let people, like, you were approved for this much and then you go spend that much. No, that's how much they willing to let you go in debt, right? You don't have that. But you going and you want to pull from the fruit and you haven't even planted the seed and watered the tree and let it grow. If you just delay that gratification a couple years, then when you pull off the fruit to get $100,000 car, the tree has produced 10 apples. And it's like, oh, now that I've planted the seed, now that I've watered the seed, now that I've been disciplined, laid a foundation and did the things I was supposed to do, now my tree has bared fruit. So now it ain't even about the car. The car is just like the Bible says, seek the kingdom of God and his righteousness and all the things will be added. The car just becomes a thing that was added. But for a lot of us, the problem is we're trying to put the thing that was added before the seed. You feel what I'm saying? Tanya, I feel that in my soul. I'm in seed planting season right now. And here's the thing about it, y'all. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Give yourself the freedom to plant seeds and be in your season of planting, watering, growing. And look, if you're patient, in due time, it will be time for you to get that thing that you wanted. But the thing is, I'm going to tell y'all a trick about all this. Once you change your thinking to do the discipline thing first, by the time you get the thing, it don't mean as much to you as it does to other people. This is a weird thing that happens in life. It's happened to me several times in life where like I work hard for something over time and I maybe develop and mature in a certain discipline where I'm not just like spending money or wasting money on something or just doing what I want to do. And then later, if I'm blessed to do that thing, yes, I still enjoy it. It's still cool, but I'm just being real. Like other people might react or whatever. And it's like, it don't really mean that to me because I put it in its proper place. That's the power of planting seeds. Actions produce results and results produce mindset. And this is the thing that we have to know. Every action is a seed. So there is no action that you conduct that doesn't produce some type of, that is not a seed that is planted, right? And so what happens is, let's say I got a bad habit of eating cake, right, for breakfast. Let's say I eat cake for breakfast every day. Now that's a seed I'm planting. But then you got to water that seed. So you continue to do it consistently over time. Now you're nurturing that seed. The thing about it, the seed is, it could produce something good or it could produce something bad. That's up to what you nourished. What you did consistently is like the first action was planting the seed. The consistency of going back to it and nourishing it. Now you're developing a habit. That habit is going to produce a result. And maybe that result is, instead of having a 6-pack, I got a 1-pack, right? It's just a one. You don't even put the word pack after. It's just, you just got one. It's there. Your stomach is there, guy. It's right here. There you go. That's a stomach. Now, those was the results. Now, those results produced a mindset for me. So now, like, I'm walking around seeing life a certain way. You feel me, Tanya? Like, I'm just trying to help y'all. I'm walking around seeing life a certain way, and I don't realize it's because of these habits I've produced. That's a stomach. I just be trying to be real. All right, let's move on. So now we understand the power of planting seeds, right? This next part is going to challenge maybe some people, and I'm leading up to this greater point about the Pando Tree. If you never heard of the Pando Tree, we about to get into it. It's a mind-blowing tree, and I just came across it in my studies today. I've been reading up on it all day, or at least the past couple hours. Let me not kind of front and say all day. The past couple hours, I've been kind of studying and thinking about what I want to talk about on this show. And the Pando Tree effect is what we're going to lead up to today. But before I get to that, I want to talk about charity and why charity keeps you poor. And it's a tough thing with charity because charity has a role in life. It's important. I'm a person that benefited from things like a good fella box or Toys for Tots. And I can remember certain times where that just added to our Christmas. You know what I mean? It was one or two more things that you got, or maybe it was some essential things that you got, like, oh, the Goodfellas box got me some t-shirts and some underwear. So cool. My parents can go out and get me the PlayStation, whatever it may be. Excuse me. And so my whole thing is like, I believe that charity has a place. But then I think there's this gray area, like, and nobody want to be real about it. And that's the thing. Like, I just be trying to be real about stuff. Listen, okay, I'm done, Tanya. You good? That's a stomach. I want to be real about the fact that charity sometimes is a crutch, and charity keeps a lot of people poor. Now, I made this post earlier today and some people got mad. Earlier this week, people got mad at me because I said, like, yo, a bridge car is intended to be a bridge. Don't build a residence on a bridge. Nobody builds a house on a bridge. A bridge is for passing through to get you from one place to another. Now, I don't know why they named the thing the bridge card, but I'm just led to believe that maybe somebody was thinking, yo, we want the person to know this is a bridge, meaning this charity is for a specific purpose, but to get you somewhere else. This is not me taking shots. I want to be clear that y'all feel like this ain't me taking shots. A lot of times I like to communicate in a somewhat raw, direct, maybe uncomfortable kind of way because I lived it, right? I've lived in poverty. I've lived under the mindset of poverty. And I kind of feel like being politically correct and sensitive doesn't work to actually get people out of poverty. It keeps people in poverty because it's all kumbaya, I'm poor, kumbaya, I'm poor, poor rich. But like, listen, it doesn't work. So I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of us have become dependent on a lifestyle of charity. So meaning we've been on the bridge so long, we don't even want to cross it. So it's like, yo, because why? Because the bridge is good. Like it's provide like, yo, why would I go work and do anything extra to disqualify for this when this is so good? But the problem is you put a glass ceiling over yourself and you limit how far you can go when you stay on the bridge and never actually cross it. And that's what charity does. So like if you have a shoe drive and it's intended to give shoes to kids to go back to school, that's great. That's an amazing thing. But we shouldn't see you at that charity for 15 years. You get what I'm saying? Like that, the problem with it is the charity can only do the one thing. This can only get you shoes this time. And so we have to grow beyond it. And some of us are we should be graduating from receiving at that charity to graduating to being someone who donates to that charity to get it to the next person. But sometimes the next person can't even get the benefit because you taking it. You've been on the bridge the whole time. And now the next person who actually need the bridge, they can't cross that bridge because you won't move. You feel me? Do you feel me though? Like, so my problem with charity is, yo, I got the Goodfella boxes. I got the Toys for Tots. I got all those things. But that motivated me to want to give back to charities. And I'm not about to like talk about the things I've done for any charity. That's not important. That's more private. But what I will say is that I have done things, and I have done things specifically because of what it meant to me, of how I knew that in that moment, I really needed that. And that is what charity is for. Charity is not for people who are able to graduate beyond it, but just so lazy or have become conditioned under a mindset to take advantage of things that they just want to keep taking. Remember, you are taking from somebody who actually needs it. That's one thing. But the second thing is you have to be poor to qualify for it. So what you're saying to yourself when you take on the mindset that I am going to be on this bridge forever, I don't ever want to get past the bridge card, I don't ever want to get past this assistance. What you are saying is I always want to be in poverty because you got to qualify for it, right? So what you're saying is that I'm going to live my life in this box where I refuse to step above this because if I go above this, I won't qualify for that. So you can never actually get where God wants you to go because you are living in a lifestyle of receiving charity, something that is good in nature, good intention, but has kept many people poor because people abuse these things. And again, just like those seeds that were planted, every action produces a result. Every result creates a mindset. So every time, every year you went to the same thing, you went and got the church turkey just to get the turkey, not because you needed it. That's a seed that you're planting. Your mind is powerful. We're going to talk about the brain here shortly, and we're going to talk about the Pando Tree, and you're going to understand why I'm laying all of this out in this way when we get to the Pando Tree in the brain. And so the thing is, you are conditioning yourself to think a certain way, and you're wondering why you're not going anywhere in life. And I'm just a person that want to be real with you and tell you, like, This is why you've been broke for 20 years. This is why you have been on this end for all these years. Now, I understand. Don't like people like to hit you with like example. What about this person that got one elbow and couldn't bend it? And listen, don't come to me with the extreme situations. Think about yourself. This isn't about like there are always exceptions to the rule. I get it. But this is about willing able-bodied people who are not willing to do things for themselves and grow beyond a situation, so they continue to qualify and have limited yourself to a lifestyle of qualifying for charity and government assistance, and you know you can do better, but you lazy. All right, I'm gonna move on now. What's the next thing before people get mad at me? Do I want to go to the Pando Tree? Let's talk about the Pando Tree. The Pando Tree, man. Yeah, one elbow, and that boy didn't even bend, Tanya. So you know how that is. Let me say this before I get to the Pando Tree. I'm trying to think which one should I do it first. So what I want to do is I want to make this point and talk about topics and things in life that are way more nuanced and detailed beyond the surface. But we have simplified them and almost dumbed them down to where people, try to talk about politics, race, all these things at the surface level. Toya, what up? Hey, Toya, I'm telling you right now, you gon' have to watch this from the beginning because this is a triggering episode, but you came at a good time. So now let's talk about the Pando Tree, people. There is this tree. I got to share my screen to go to this. But let me sum it up first. There's this tree in Utah, Fish Lake, Utah, that I came across today. And when you see the tree, it looks like a full-blown forest. This is the largest living organism in the world today. It's over 100 acres, I believe, over 40,000 stems or branches, whatever it is, stems, over 40,000, I don't know if that's trees or whatever is in these 100 acres. And I'm going to show you the picture first. Oh my God, this is literally, I'm talking about like, I'm not even joking when I tell you that this right here, let's go to the picture. Where's the picture? Woo, Jesus. Can y'all see this? Woo. Hold on. Do y'all see it or no? Did I share? Let me go back. Hold on, people. Don't worry. We gonna get it right. Oh no, we gonna get it right. This right here, where is it at? There we go. Can y'all see this? Are y'all seeing this? This is the Pando Tree. Yeah, y'all see it. All right, so this is the Pando Tree, people. And first thing I want you to understand is this is a tree. All right. This is a tree, people. And so I know you think you're looking at multiple trees right now, but the Pando Tree in Fish Lake, Utah, on the surface looks like a whole bunch of trees in a forest, but underneath it is one root system and is said to have been started from a single seed. Woo! Woo-hoo! Oh, I'm so hype. Wait a minute. I got to keep it on the screen for a second. Did you hear me? Oh, no. Okay, I got it. All right. Okay, y'all didn't hear me, so I'm going to go one step further. I'm about to go one step further, people. The Pando Tree, on the surface to everybody looking at it, looks like a 100-acre forest, but beneath the surface, it is one root, one tree. Woo, that has over time produced from itself all of these branches and all of these trees. We ain't even got to the dope part yet, but I want you to take a moment to think about what we talked about so far. We talked about mindset. We talked about the importance of planting seeds and how you can plant one seed and it produced so many outcomes. And some of us in life are so stuck in our situation, and we don't realize it's because of a seed that you planted 20 years ago. It's a seed that somebody else planted in your mind 20 years ago. It's a song you heard. It's a movie you watched. Some people get caught up into pornography because they watched one movie. You saw one scene and it took you on a whole Pando effect for your whole life. Like you can't keep your pants up for nobody because 20 years ago you saw a movie. And what happens with so many of us, if we have minimized the impact of planting seeds to the point that we just walking around with a handful of seeds just planting everywhere. I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna listen to this. Oh, and people say stuff like, oh, I can watch this. This doesn't affect me. I can drink this. This don't affect me. I can smoke this. This don't affect me. I can do this. This don't affect me. I'm still a Christian. This don't affect me. Okay, cool. It ain't affected you. You don't think. On the surface, it looked like a whole bunch of different stuff, but beneath the surface, it's all connected to one system. The Pando Tree effect. Come on, fam. Some of us are literally walking through life and have produced toxic tree after toxic tree after toxic tree because we've planted one seed 20 years ago and never cut out the root. Jesus, this is the important, like I'm trying to listen. Some of us, all right, we talk about politics. Politics is a very triggered thing that on the surface, everybody is like, oh, you love Obama or you hate Trump. You love Trump, you hate him. And people try to simplify. This is why I'm going to tell y'all a secret if you don't know this because you haven't listened to this podcast. I am not a Democrat or a Republican at all. I am independent. And the more I talk to Democrats and Republicans, the more independent I become. You know why? Because everybody sees it on the surface. Oh, let's make fun of Trump because he went to jail. Let's make fun of Joe Biden falling down the steps. Let's praise Obama. Let's do like we get caught up in this surface thing. And it's like, bro, you trying to simplify something that is deep rooted. Racism. Like we try to make racism black and white, pun intended. At the end of the day, things are so deep rooted that a lot of us, we don't want to deal with the real issue. So what we do is we give the issue a face, a symbol. Trump is a symbol for people. Obama is a symbol for people. And what people do with their symbols, when you limit life to symbols, you can say, okay, if this person does something, it's all bad. If this person says or does something, it's all good. I stand on this side of the tracks. I believe that. And what people have literally done is taken the complexities of life that beneath the surface are all connected. It might be one little evil person or thing or situation. And we've tried to simplify it without dealing with the real issue. And this is why I don't like talking about politics with nobody. I don't enjoy it because most people don't actually want to talk about what's going on. They just want to talk about what it look like. Cultish religious manipulation. Okay, let's talk about that one. Cultish religious manipulation. These are things that people complain about or talk about, but nobody knows how to fix because nobody actually goes back to the root to understand, like, why are we doing this in the first place? Where did we go wrong? When I say cultish religious manipulation, I'm specifically wording it this way because a lot of us have allowed things, as an example, in our church that we never actually deal with, and it's so deep rooted that everybody leaves it alone. The Pando Tree effect. It has produced all these things. Some things are good. I don't know what to do. I don't want to deal with it. Poverty. Poverty is a Pando Tree effect. You know, so you'll have people that's like, don't say that about charity, Jermaine, because charity's good. Okay, that's one tree. It's 1,000 trees out here, bro. I got to look at all these trees. I got to look at everything. I have to understand. The Bible said in Proverbs 4:7, right? Wisdom is the principal thing. Get wisdom, but in all you're getting, get an understanding. Some of us stop at the information. We just get information, but we never understand it. You got to understand what's going on, or at least attempt to. Let's go a step further with the Pando Tree. Okay, because y'all thought that was it. Let's jump into this. Where's my let's go here, bro. Let's go here, fam. This is for the Pando. This is friendsofpando.org. Let me just read this real quick. The Pando, in a high mountain basin in central Utah, stands the world's largest tree, Pando, a quaking aspen clone. It's called a clone because they're saying it just reproduces the same tree over and over again, comprised of over 40,000 stems. Stems which appear to us as individual trees, but in fact are part of a genetically identical tree that spreads over 100 acres via a massive root system. Woo! Do y'all feel what I'm saying? Okay, I want to go deeper into it though. Let's explore Pando, fam. I'm trying to be deep in the Pando. Let me see what y'all see. Okay, yeah, y'all seeing it. We about to jump. I want to go in the Pando, fam. Oh yeah, are we in there? Oh yeah, y'all see it. Y'all see it, fam. Oh, buddy. This is the Pando. So this is actually what it looks like in there. We in it. Like, this is all one tree, one root system. Look at this. Look at all these thoughts. Look at all of these trees that were produced off of a single seed. You allowed yourself to think a single way about poverty, and look at what it produced. You allowed yourself to think a single way about politics. You allowed yourself to be manipulated by media, manipulated by cults and people and things who did not have your best interests. And this is what happens. One tree, one root system. The Pando Tree effect is in our lives so much. And look at this. Look at all of this. This is what happens in your life when you allow one seed to keep growing. And then it produces so much that you can never actually get out of it. You don't know how to stop this thing. How do you stop this from growing? Look at it. Look at how much of it is. How do you stop this? This is, to me, what this represents politics today. There are so many agendas. Every tree is an agenda. I'm not even going to name them. Agenda. Hey, agenda. How you doing? Keep me poor. Keep me oppressed. Make me think you're going to pay for something. Hold on. How you doing over there? Destroy my kids. Oh, that's a tree right there. Destroy education. There we go. The poor get poorer. Oh, hey, how you doing? Rich get richer over there. Hey, how you doing? Oh, what's this tree about? Oh, the same tree right here. This is my debt. This is me not being able to be faithful. Hey, how you doing, tree over here? This is pornography. Hey, how you doing, lust? That's a nice tree right there. How you doing, disobedience? All right, hey, how's it going, tree? Hey, you know what? Let's stay in this cycle. Hey, my granddaddy was this way. I might as well be this way. Hey, this person in my family, we've been broke for generations. Might as well be broke. Hey, how you doing? Hey, womanizer. Hey, how you doing over there, buddy? Hey, nice to meet you. These are the trees in our lives that are produced. And everything in your life represents a seed that you're planting. Don't tell me that this music don't affect you. Don't tell me. I'm not saying you can't do it, but this is what I'm saying about people. The Bible says get wisdom and then understand it. What a lot of us is, we get the information. Oh, I read a scripture that says as Christians, I have liberties. Great. But did you understand the liberties? Did you understand, like, yo, you should go out and you should be careful still, even though you have the liberty to do something, because at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that your liberties don't produce trees. And a lot of us could, if we wanted to, start planting seeds. Because I want you to look at this in a positive way as well. When you do the right thing, all right, now we got to go back to the tree. Now we got to go back to the tree. Because imagine now you have done some things and you did the right thing. Okay. Let me make sure this is showing right. Okay, yeah, y'all seeing it. Oh, hey, I planted one seed and I started paying off debt. Oh wow, look at this. This tree is a credit score right there. Oh, look at this low interest rate over here. Wow, that one is good. Hey, look at my savings account. Hey, great, buddy. Wow. Okay. What do you mean? Now I have an investment property? That's a great tree. Wait a minute. Now my kids have a college fund? I like that tree. Oh, wait a minute. I gave some money to the charity that I used to take advantage of, not advantage, but that was an advantage to me, right? Oh, wow, this is a beautiful thing. Hey, now, oh, inspire God's people. That's a great tree. I'm going to help other people. I'm going to tell other people about the stuff that God did for me. And I'm going to tell them exactly how I did it. Look at that tree. Wait, now somebody else becomes financially free because I told them about this. That's a great tree. Like, and so at the end of the day, people, we have the ability to plant seeds, water them, nurture them, and then watch them grow. The Pando Tree effect. And now here's the last part, maybe the most important part that I want to talk about today. And that is, I asked myself in studying for this, why is it so difficult to change people's mind? That was the question I started with today. I started my studies with, why is it so difficult to change people's mind? And I ended up on this Pando Tree. I don't know how I got there, what I was looking at on the internet, what I was reading, but I got to this Pando Tree. And the reason that it was so intriguing to me is because this book I read called Switch on Your Brain by Dr. Carolyn Leaf, who's a Christian neurologist and brain scientist, I guess. And I've read her book before. And again, hey, read at your own caution, I guess. Science and things can get really weird, but she is a Christian. And she talked about this concept in her book that the neurons in your brain is like a tree. And she made this argument, which I kind of learned that is really around neurogenesis, which is the idea that these neurons in your brain that are like trees, you have the ability to keep growing new ones. So these neurons are like thoughts, memories, experiences, all these things happening in your brain. I guess there's billions of them. I am not a scientist. Do not kind of quote me on the detail of this part. You know what I'm saying? You might want to go read it yourself for the detail of that. But I'm just giving you the general abstract overview of a neuron. It looks like a tree. It's in your brain and your memories are stored here. And it's like all your life experiences produces all these neurons. Dr. Carolyn Leaf makes this argument that is, I believe, centered around neurogenesis, maybe neuroplasticity, maybe another way to say it. I think those are similar. Don't quote me on that. But it's this idea that your brain ain't done. The neurons aren't done. I guess some scientists have believed before that by the age of 25, you had already produced all the neurons you were going to produce. But then this idea of neurogenesis comes up, and it's the idea that I can plant new seeds, that I can create new trees in my brain. But here's the thing, regardless of where you stand on that, it's the interesting idea and thought that these neurons in your brain are like trees. And when I said, why is it so hard to change somebody's mind? It's because of the Pando Tree effect in their brain. Your brain is that central root system. But what happens is all of these billions of neurons are just like billions of trees in a forest that you have created. And it has given you a worldview, the way you view money. That's why some people is like, hey, they uncomfortable talking about money. You know how many people I talk to that are uncomfortable talking about money? The way you view the Bible. Some people that you fall asleep. The moment you start reading the Bible, it's because you have created all these neurons around reading the Bible. And it could be seeds that were planted throughout your life that told you this is boring, that told you that you couldn't do it, that maybe told you that it's not that important to actually read, as long as you just understand the overall aspect of God and Jesus and who he is and all that, you good. And listen, I'm not here to debate that. But what I am saying is that I believe that the way we view life, laziness, some of us, we have these ways about ourselves that we can't seem to change. And some of it is because of your mind has this Pando Tree effect that your brain, you have allowed all these thoughts and experiences and the music you listen to and the TV shows you watch. Like people tell me stuff doesn't affect them, but then I look at the results of your life and how you live, and I'm like, you're living just like the shows you watch. They waste money, you waste money. Your favorite celebrity wears certain designer clothes. You wear those designer clothes. This person, your favorite artist, smoke, drink, do all this. You do what they do. Like there's so many people that actually do live out what they put in, but they say it doesn't affect them. So the last thing I want to look at real quick. First, let's go to the Bible. Romans 12. It's just, let's read verse 2. Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. Here's the important part. By changing the way you think. Even to be a Christian requires that you transform into a new person by changing the way you think. You know how crazy that is to me? It's crazy to me that even in the Bible, Romans 12:2, it literally says, you want to know how you could be a whole new person? Change how you think. That tells me how deep rooted our mindsets are. How deep, and again, maybe you think the right way about things. Like take a person that is in great shape. They see life a certain way. They have a certain mindset around taking care of their body as a temple, and they are consistent and committed to that, and it produces results. Certain people who have great marriages, they have a certain belief system about the way they see it, and it produces something. In the same way, you know how many people that have allowed themselves to think negatively about marriage or relationships? I see it all the time on social media. You think negative, you don't think nobody could be married, you don't think nobody could be this, you don't think, and then what happens is you're creating all these neurons in your brain. Let's see real quick. Let's see if I had the neurons. I didn't save the, okay, I'm gonna have to, hold on 1 second. Because what I'm gonna have to do is, I gotta go to that. You feel me? I gotta give you at least a little bit, like at least a visual. You feel what I'm saying? At least a visual. Let's see. Okay, all right, let's go into it. I don't know. This might be too much for some people. They ain't trying to get into this, but I love this. So let's look at brain basics. Let's look at neurons, right? So this is brain basics. This is according to National Institute of Neurological, I can talk, disorders and stroke. Brain basics, the life and death of a neuron. This is right here a visual of what this neuron looks like, right? This tree with these branches, this system, right? So, all right, let's see. Neurons are nerve cells that send messages all over your body to allow you to do everything from breathing to talking, eating, walking, and thinking. Wow, even thinking. Neurons, they are these nerve cells that send messages all around your body. So your brain has these trees growing that are really the nucleus to everything that you're doing, right? Until recently, most neuroscientists, scientists who study the brain, thought we were born with all the neutrons we were ever going to have. As children, we might grow some new neutrons to help build the pathways called neural circuits that act as information highways between different areas of the brain. However, scientists believe that once a neural circuit was in place, adding any new neutrons would change the flow of information and break the brain's communication system. However, in 1962, scientist Joseph Altman challenged this belief when he saw evidence of neurogenesis, the birth of neurons, in a region of the adult rat brain cell called the hippocampus. He later reported that newborn neutrons traveled from their birthplace in the hippocampus to other parts of the brain. In 1979, another scientist, Michael Kaplan, confirmed Altman's findings in the rat brain, and in 1983, he found special kinds of cells called neural precursor cells, with the ability to become new brain cells, to become brain cells like neurons in adult monkeys. Okay, here is the overall point of everything I'm saying today. Your brain has neurons that are really the source for how you think, how you breathe, you walking, all of these things, how you talk. It's all happening in your brain, billions of neurons. Neurogenesis is the idea that you're not stuck with the neurons you have. I love this because what this says is that even though I may think a certain way, let's go back to Romans 12:2 now. Now that we understand a little bit about the brain, don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. I want you to let that soak in. How do you become a new person? By changing the way you think. We become new in our minds, which means this idea of neurogenesis and the fact that you can have a positive Pando Tree effect on your life right now if you accept Jesus, if you allow yourself to see the world in a new way, to see the world through salvation versus oppression, to see the world through love, God's love versus hatred and evil or manipulation. You have the ability to create new neurons that, just like the Pando tree, can then go and produce other trees. And then what will happen is if you found yourself living in a toxic, depressed, down and out state, constantly seeing the negative in things, never being able to see the positive, understanding that maybe you had some bad experiences, but the Bible said, let God make you a new person by changing the way you think. That is the Pando tree effect. We have the ability to change how we think. If we're poor, we have the ability to change how we think and start thinking rich. If we've been lying, we got the ability to change how we speak and live in the truth. If we've been hating ourselves, we have the ability to change how we think and see ourselves as God sees us. If we have been destructive around God's family structure and the plan that he laid out and he wants in our life, we have the ability to change. But it starts in your mind. The Pando tree effect. Hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. I want you to share this with someone. If you have, please do leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, like, subscribe, and share on YouTube. I Can Talk. It is at Inspire God's People on YouTube, on Instagram. And if you want to check out any of my personal stuff, it's at Inspire J Will on Instagram and Twitter. Also, check out Inspire God's People on Facebook. We have a page. And again, if you want to be inspired daily and have the way you think challenged and grow and kick it a little deeper about a lot of things, again, the Pando tree effect. You have the ability to change. And whatever seeds you plant have the potential to grow into something much larger than you could ever imagine. Where on the surface, it won't even look like it's connected. That's why sometimes we're struggling with one thing and it don't look like it's connected to the other thing, but it all came from a single source, the Pando tree effect. There are times that you're walking through life and you are just down and out and you can't figure out why, because it isn't that clear or obvious that these two things are interconnected. So those movies and that music you was listening to that you said it didn't affect you because it wasn't really obvious that it affected you, or those people that you talked to or you hung out with that always had something to say, they planted a seed in your ear and you thought, oh, I'm good, that didn't affect me. It turns out that it did. And it developed some trees that are so far away from the original seed that you didn't know that they were the same. That's the Pando tree effect. The beauty is you also have the ability to do this for positive things. If you've been poor, again, you have the opportunity now to think rich. If you've been lost, you have the opportunity to accept Jesus Christ right now in your life. And he can give you a new outlook, a new perspective on life. It doesn't always mean that life and things go perfectly, right? I think sometimes we mix up this idea that like, oh, I'm saved, so I'm always talking about faith. That means my life is easier. No, it means my perspective is different. The same thing happened. It's like people can go through the same thing and walk out and have a different perspective about it. And a lot of time that perspective is rooted in the way you think. It's rooted in the system of your Pando tree in your mind, your neurons, the seeds that have been planted over your life. And so if you want to change, you can become new, but you got to change how you think. Again, if you enjoyed this episode, please do like, share, subscribe. If you just catching it at the end, please do start over from the beginning. I think it's going to bless you and potentially even change your life. Y'all have an amazing, amazing, amazing day. And